two things that you need to do to see if you can hold your quantum leap, your manifestation. You know, we're all about like quantum leaps here. And so I'll give you a story. When I decided that I was going to have like this month of May was going to be 250,000 sales month and $111,000 cash. I decided it's done. This is what I've decided, right? It has been decided. Once I decided that, right, I decided that I get to be the woman who can hold that. What's important is for you to do two things. And the first thing is for you to do a capacity audit. Have you guys ever, like, put it in the comments, have you ever done a capacity audit? And what a capacity audit is to audit your capacity to hold whatever it is you're desiring. And so I had to, if the thing that I'm asking for, and I'll give you an example in relationships too, so that you can see if you have the capacity to hold space for what you desire. So let's just talk about the business example. So 250,000 in sales, 111,000 in cash. When you look that around and say, what does that entail? Who would need to be here? If you look at my normal offer suite, it would be about 10 people more in my mastermind. It would be about 100 people in my quantum queen. And then it would be maybe 1,000 people in the Be Collective. And so when I'm looking at that and I'm saying, I want it this month, is that something that my brain is like, of course, girl, you can do it? Could that happen? Of course it could. But is my brain really easily going to get behind it? No. So when I'm doing this capacity audit, which is the first thing you need to do, I started to say, well, are there other offers? Are there other spaces? Do I have more other space for, you know, money to flow in, for clients to come through? Are there some really nice high-end luxury one-to-one experiences that I could include? And the answer was yes, yes, and yes. So you see how, like, just me asking, do I have the capacity to hold this manifestation to happen this month, helped to open up some new ideas and some new ways of allowing it to come in? Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Get into the comments. Let me know that you're here. The two things, we're talking about the two things you need to do to see if you can hold your manifestation. And the manifestation example that I gave was me this month. I said, May, it gets to be a $250,000 month. I also said it gets to be $111,000 cash. And I was like, oh, do I have the capacity with what I have in my offer suite to do that this month? No problem. No. And the answer was no. I was like, no, you know what? There's some other ways. And I opened up my ideas to be like, oh, what are some fun ways that this could happen? What are some new ways that I can put into my offer suite? And guess what? I'm offering them now. All right. So ask yourself, I want to know in the comments, the thing that you desire. It's in the Be Collective, and in Be Collective and Quantum Queen and in Legend, it's Mo Money May. Mo Money May, people have put in some really wonderful, like saying, this is the month this is my $22,000 month, or this is my $10,000 month, or this is my $50,000 month. We've heard that over and over again. And the question is, do you have the capacity to hold it? I feel like Allison, it's your $6,000 month, right? So Allison says, yes, definitely need to expand both my capacity and my practical structures. Yes. So if it's a $6,000 month, I want you to really look and say, have I made the space for this? Do I have what could I sell today? What could I sell today? You know, let's see. Oh, Carrie. Oh, it's Carrie Ann. She says, my one daughter changed her screen name. Hello, Carrie. So Carrie, like, do you have the space for that? And so if you're saying, I want this to be, let's say you're like, it's a $5,000 a month, and you say, okay, I know I'm now offering something new. Then you could say, okay, what's something that I could sell right now that's $500, right? And I would just, all I need is 10 of them, right? Or what's something that I could sell right now that's $1,000 that I'd only need 5 of them. And I'm going to go out and I'm going to go sell that to my audience. I'm going to go show up and do that. Okay. So really look at the capacity. Now, let me give you an example for love, because this works for everything. And I want you to see it in a different way so that you can start applying this to your business, but also other areas of your life. So you've asked to quantum leap and have like the most amazing love affair of your life with the man of your freaking dreams or the person of your freaking dreams, whatever you want, right? So you've decided that you wanted that. Do you have the capacity to hold space for that relationship? So if you are like looking at your life today and all you do is you wake up, you work, and then you go to sleep, right? And that's all you do. Like you're on the phone all the time, you're doing all the things. Do you really have the capacity to hold space for that person that's coming into your life? What is that answer? The answer is probably no. So you get to say, oh, okay, what things do I get to do to make space for this relationship that I want? Right? Yeah. You could also say, like, let's say you do have space, but you don't have space, right? So let's say if you're still ruminating on the old relationship and angry about what that person did to you and all of that stuff, are you really in a space to really hold space for this amazing, the love, the one, the love of your life? Are you really ready for it? And your answer might be like, you know what? I know that I get to work on some of my beliefs. I get to accept myself, love myself even more, and know that this person can come in my life right now and I'd be ready to give them space. But do you see how just looking at your capacity to be like, do I have the capacity to hold space for the clients, the relationship, the exercise, or whatever you're going to need to do to allow yourself to receive what you desire? It's the biggest question. All right. So that's the first thing. There's two things that I want to talk to you about. The first thing is, do you have the capacity? The second thing is your belief level. Now, I've always told you, you don't have to 100% believe your thing or believe that it's happening and believe that it's now and know for sure that it's there. And you still need to look at your belief capacity, like your belief, do a belief audit. Because the question is like, are there reasons why you don't want this to happen? Because that's not the way we usually look at it. We usually look at our things that we want and we look at it for like, oh, what's holding me back? You know, what's the reason why I don't believe I can have it? Blah, 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 blah. Some of the things that your belief audit is really to look at, are there reasons why I clearly do not want this in my life? So I'll give you an example. So if I said $250,000 cash and I was like $111,000 need to come in right now and this gets to happen, it's going to happen. And if my belief is like, I don't have those people in my audience, like straight up, I don't have those people in my audience, then I get to do that belief audit and I get to shift those beliefs to say that I don't need, hey, maybe they're not there today, but they could be there tomorrow, right? But what if I had a belief that I was gonna be overworked and exhausted, and to have to hold a space with 1,000 people was gonna be like the worst. If I had that belief, then am I going to easily allow myself to allow 1,000 people into my space? No. And so some of the questions that I ask is, what will happen if this unfolds? What will happen? What am I afraid will happen if this unfolds? What don't I want? Like, why don't I want this? What is something that really is right there at the surface that's like, girl, you really don't want this? You see? You're picking up what I'm putting down? So when you can audit your capacity, I want you to do a little belief audit too, to say, what fear is associated with me receiving this? Because the fear of success is almost as bad as it's sometimes worse, especially in women, of the fear of failure. I've had clients that were nervous that if they blew up their business and made the money that they want to make, that would emasculate their husband, and their husband wouldn't want to be with them, wouldn't find them desirable anymore. Do you think that they were letting the business blow up? No, because they love their relationship and they love the way it is. So they needed to do that belief audit to really say, oh my goodness, I'm not letting myself thrive because I think that my husband's going to dislike that. And so they got to have some conversations with their husband and talk about the different things and work through some of those beliefs, so that the husband was like, girl, no, you blow up, you do your thing. I want to be a part of that. Which is something that they've discovered, Let's see. Carrie says, yes, need to shift my beliefs away from fear of not having enough time and energy left over for myself and my kids. Yes, see that is you want this success, but then you're saying, oh, but if I have it, it's going to stop me from something that I really love and something that's really important to me. And so once you know that, then you can start to say, well, is that true? Right? Beth, one of my favorite clients in the world, she's like, she loves it because when she first started working with me, I used to always say, is that true? And so now she asks herself, is that true? Because it's the truth. Like we say these things and we prepare ourselves or try to protect ourselves from drama or something negative that may never happen. And so you're protecting yourself from this drama. And it's like, why am I creating the drama to protect myself from something that I created because it was probably never going to happen? If you have a desire to have this business, then that's there. What you get to do is say, I know that my family means a lot to me and my energy and my time with them is important to me, and create a business that supports that. Instead of thinking that, oh, if I'm successful and my business is amazing, then that means it's going to take time away from my kids and away from my family. No, you get to, now that you know that that belief exists, create the one that you want, create the business that works well with this. Because I guarantee if you didn't have your own business and you were working a 9 to 5, that would take you away from your family a lot more, right? So you get to say, well, what else situations could be here, right? Which would be a situation of like, oh, if I worked a 9 to 5, I'd be away from my family for 8 to 10, maybe even 11 hours. But with my own business, I know that I can do some things in the morning. I can do some things when the kids are asleep, or I can just arrange it in a way that feels really good for me. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, these two things, capacity audit and belief audits. I want to see you guys out there doing a capacity audit and a belief audit. And those of you that are a part of the AlignedSoul, that are part of the Be Collective, you know how to work through those beliefs, right? With the AlignedSoul Alchemy, we have a whole audio for you so that you can break down these beliefs and work through them and do the 5A method and just create some new beliefs and move in alignment with those new beliefs. So that's where you can use it. Let's see. Kai says, what's coming up for me is if I blow up and become a really big business with huge visibility, it would mean that I would get to be very visible and subject to criticism. You will. Okay, so first, that is thank you, Kai, for bringing that up. I love that. That's a belief. That's a belief I had. So I don't know if you can tell, but I love people and I'm so nice and I love to be loved. Because I love to be loved. And a big part of me not letting myself be visible was because I was so afraid of the haters and the people that are going to like dislike me. And so what I had to do was come to terms with the more people that see me. So let's say for right now, my audience is about 50,000 when we add like email lists and Instagram and all of the things like Facebook groups, like all of those things. You put all of those together, it's about 50,000. So if I were to 10x that to 5 million, right now I don't have many haters in my audience. They love me, right? So if I 10x that to 5 million overnight, there are going to be a really tiny percentage of haters. There are. And so I had to go in and accept and say, if I want to be Beyonce level, right? If I want to like be seen and heard and like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, like boom, here I am, see me famous, right? Because I always help my clients to fame, fortune, and fulfillment. And fulfillment means that you are loving the fame and the fortune, and you're loving being the known person in your industry. You're loving like having an audience that really wants to see you. You're loving the visibility, fame, fortune, and fulfillment, right? They all go together. Okay. And so I said, if I want to be the Beyonce of my industry, if I want to be the Taylor Swift of my industry, then I've got to deal with the fact that there's probably going to be 1% of the audience that are going to be haters and bots. And I've got to deal with that. And so once I came to terms with that is what's going to happen, guess what happened? Hater. I had a hater and I lived. So I was doing this program. It was called Infinite Bigness. And so Infinite Bigness was really about taking up big space and taking up things. And those of you know, you see, I have lost about 60 pounds. Yay. But at that time, I was about 60, 65 pounds heavier than I am now, or weighed more than I am now. And so I had this video and I was dancing and I was feeling myself and I was talking. I had a voiceover that was saying infinite bigness, really own your bigness. You know, I had to own my big body. I had to own like who I was. I had to own like that I was really good at what I do, blah, blah, blah. And it went a little viral for me. Y'all, the haters, and most of them were like pictureless males, were like, you're sick, you for telling people like you're promoting fatness. And like, I mean, it was awful. Done the work before, I would have been broke down. And thank God I decided to love my body that size, because if I hadn't done that work, whoop, Lord. I mean, they told me that I was going to die, that I was promoting killing other people, that I needed to learn how to eat better. I mean, all of these things, like you're killing your body, you're going to be dead in a couple of years. I mean, they were going off. I just was like, okay. So I responded with such love and compassion. I was like, well, thank you for your concern about my health. You know, I'm very healthy right now. I said, and I appreciate your thinking about me, and block them, right? So I just responded with such like love. But then my audience, I didn't realize I had so many fans, y'all. I had so many people that loved me. They were like going in on the folks. They were like, you know that, but hey, you know, to have a beehive like Beyonce or the Swifties, like Taylor Swift, they had my back. So what if that could be your experience? I want you to, if the fear of being seen and the fear of taking up more space and the fear of having haters or negative situations come is your fear, then I need you to, one, imagine it happening, like imagine what will happen and know that you can withstand it and hold it. And then just start showing up, taking up the most space that you can, being like, I'm so glad this is going to go viral, or the all right people are going to see me. Like, I want you out there with like, and being okay that you're going to get criticized, that people aren't going to believe what you say. They're not going to believe that you are doing what you do. They're not going to believe in your results. You get to believe it. You get to stand in it. You get to decide that you trust and believe yourself. Okay. So it's going to happen. And what you get to do is accept that it's going to happen, feel it in your body even before it happens, so that you can like regulate yourself. You can do the things, because you're not a robot. Things are going to hurt sometimes. Now my assistant Lauren, she's getting married today. Yay, happy wedding day, Lauren. She and I laugh at the comments now. I had somebody that told me I needed better hair and need to manifest weight loss and better hair. And I said, oh, how did they say it? They said, can you manifest weight loss and better hair? And I said, yes, you can, if that's what you really want. I can watch this video to find out how. Like, we laugh at it now, but before it probably would have hurt us. So just know that I love to use humor with a lot of those things. Yes, I feel my emotions, and if I'm feeling really hurt from something, I will do my tapping. I'll do my Aligned Soul Alchemy process. Like, I'll do those things to move through those emotions. But I also love to laugh, because a lot of that stuff is just successful people don't hate on other successful people. When you're successful and you got things going on, you are not in your basement, your mom's basement, like sending people negative messages and all of that. That just shows you that they're hurt. That shows you that they're going through some things, and that they probably are mad because you're showing up, or you have the gall to show up looking like that or being like that or whatever, and they don't. And so that's the way I like to see haters or people that criticize. You're never going to have everybody that's going to agree with you. I love to like, if I don't agree with somebody, I'm going to say, oh, that's interesting. I might state my point of view, not to change theirs, but just say, this is the way I see it. And that's it. You have a different point of view. I have a different point of view. We can live. But if we sit here and we're afraid to be canceled, we're afraid that we said something wrong, we get to know that you're moving from your heart, and you're always like, whatever you're doing it from your heart. and you're doing it from a space of love, because if you weren't, you wouldn't be in my audience. And if somebody takes it and they get offended, or if somebody thinks, how are you to say that? Or if somebody doesn't like what you say, then you get to say, I'm hearing you, and this is my perspective, and it's all love. You know what I mean? You can't bend over backwards or change your life or change your voice or change who you are for everybody. You've got to show up as you. You've got to have strong opinions. You've got to decide that I want this fame, fortune, and fulfillment, and I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be me. And there are going to be people that don't like it, but there's going to be the majority of people that love it. And that's just the fact of life. There's a lot more good in this world than there is bad. It's just that there's spotlights on the bad, and we think that that's everything, and it's not. It's not. All right, let me see. Carrie says, it's because I'm transitioning out of being a stay-at-home mom. Having the flexibility of my own business is definitely far preferable than being trapped and tied to certain hours of the job. You know, and what you get to do, Carrie, too, is like, okay, if that's a belief, then what's the type of business that you could create that is going to support you spending lots of time with your family? Because in the beginning of setting up a business, there will be moments that you're working, right? I say working because, you know, and if it's in the coaching industry, like I have a lot of clients that are in multiple different types of industries. There's some coaches and mentors, right? We have real estate agents, we have entertainers, I have people that own physical product businesses, right? And so there's different types of businesses, different types of requirements for time. With you, I believe it's more of a coaching thing. And so to me, the coaching and mentoring industry can be the easiest, especially if you merge digital products or something with it. It can be the easiest, lightest, most easiest job that you could ever create. It's just about where you put your time. And so if we think about the things that you need to do, what are the things that you have to do as an online, digital like coach mentor, right? You need to create content. That can take maybe an hour. I'm going to say an hour in the beginning. After that, it's going to take like 30 minutes. But let's say it takes an hour to create the content. You need to share it, right, in all the places, wherever you're going to be. You need to maybe spend a little time on that social media platform, connecting with your audience, connecting. And then you want to nurture that audience. Okay. And then you have to like execute or facilitate your offer. So like if you have a group program and there's 4 calls, 1 call a week, that's an hour or 2 facilitating. And then you also have like, if you're going to have one-to-one, maybe you have like a couple of one-to-one clients. So that maybe be 30 minutes to an hour or 2 per client, right? So if you added all that up, this is what I did to make myself see how I was like, Christine, girl, get over yourself. Like you are barely working. You just came from corporate where you were an executive and you worked 60, 70 hours a week sometimes. And so I was like, let's calculate the hours that I'm really working. And it turned out that it was like less than like 15 or 20, because when you actually look at the things that I'm doing, even if you include the back end or managing my team or all that stuff, it really is 15 to 20 hours a week. And like anybody can do that. And that is also with what I'm talking about, like extra back end or doing like weekly live streams and adding like a podcast and all of that stuff. But if you keep it super simple, you could create a successful, amazing business working 20 hours. And if you did that, what's that, 5-hour days or 5 hours for 4 days, right? You know what I mean? Or it could be 4 hours for 5 days, right? You could just really start to and use your time appropriately. Use your time wisely. But do you see how like doing the belief audit and then the capacity audit, when you put those together, how you start to get your mind and your brain behind the quantum leap that you've decided gets to happen? So I want your homework, what I want you guys to do, like I want all of you to do a capacity audit on your desires and do a belief audit, so that you could say, okay, have I created a business that can even hold this? And if I haven't, then what things could I create? Like what thing could I create and sell today that would just totally, cover that? And it can be fun things. It can be something out of the blue. Like I also was thinking about $100,000 package. So I was like, if somebody came into my business and was like, I want to pay you $100,000 and just pay it to you, like wire it to you today, like what kind of package would that be? So I thought about that. I played with that energy. I was like, oh, that would be fun. I created some short-term 3-month one-to-one situations that are $22,000 for my high multi 6 and 7-figure clients so that they can pay in full. And then we have 3 months and 90 days. We like step them into their 7-figure or multi 7-figure frequencies. Like I created just a lot of fun things that I'm like, oh my God, that would be fun. I created a VIP day, a private VIP day where I'll fly. We can fly somewhere. You can fly to me. We can be in LA. We can be in New York. We can go like to, you know, a farm, like wherever is your vibe, like a VIP day that's going to be, you know, where we're really dialing in on that next level, like, and that's $11,111. I'm just having so much fun. But I wouldn't have been doing this if I wouldn't have done that capacity audit and thought about like what are some other fun ways that I could easily infuse like large sums of money through my business and like blow people's mind with the experience. So your homework for today: do a capacity audit and a belief audit for your intention, for whatever you're creating. Because if you can do that and you can start to see anything that could be holding you back, or reasons why you don't want it, what you're scared of that'll happen when you get it, like all of those things, and you work through those, I promise you, you're going to start to see how easy it is for you to receive and allow yourself to receive the things that you desire, because that's all manifestation is: intentional receiving. And what I'm doing is opening the door, opening the pipes so that you can intentionally receive.